Let's take a look at the chart action for Ethereum. Okay, so here's what I've been looking at. We had resistance, resistance, support, support. I've been watching this triangle pattern. We broke it to the downside right here, and we didn't really get a breakout to the downside. We didn't get a lot of volume and start going down very hardcore or anything. We just kind of came down and then got bounces back to the upside. So if you watched my Bitcoin video, I've been kind of talking about this as well, is that if we break this trend line going to the downside, I'm kind of wondering if we're just going to get a wick and maybe hit some of the previous bottoms on the 4-hour time frame. Let's go ahead and jump into the 4-hour time frame. We could probably get rid of this trend line right here because it hasn't really been too effective. We broke it, but we didn't get a huge breakout. Let's jump to the 4-hour time frame. These orange levels are sitting at the previous bottoms. We have a bottom right here sitting around 2,168. We have a bottom right here sitting around 2,360, and then we have a couple bottoms right here, a couple support levels sitting around 2,514. I have my limit orders set on these bottoms because I'm hoping that we could get bounces, kind of like we got bounces in the past. We came down, got a bounce right there, got a bounce right here, and got support, support. So basically, I'm having these limit orders in case we can get a bounce to the upside. I think if we get some big red volume, then we might be looking at a lower level somewhere around 1785 approximately, which is the previous low down here. If we go ahead and zoom out, this was our previous bottom. So I'm thinking if we get some big red volume, we might be coming down to this level sitting around 1785 approximately. And I've been looking at this level for a while now because it's the previous low pretty much. But in general, like I was talking about on Bitcoin, even though we're breaking that trend or we broke this trend, let's go back to the daily time frame and set that trend line up again. We had this trend like this, and on Bitcoin, I've been saying it's possible that we just get wicks down and then come back up, kind of like we got a wick right here and a wick right here. We came down, wicked down, and came back up. We weren't able to stay below that trend line. Right now, we are sitting below the trend line, and that's why I'm kind of just not even paying attention to it. I'm kind of deleting this trend in general. The main thing that I'm watching are the resistances. So we have resistance, 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 resistance. Let's go ahead and set up a couple more trend lines because we set a couple more resistance trends. We have one going like this, and let's go into the 4-hour time frame because I think I'm watching this on the 4-hour time frame right now. We have resistance right here and right here giving me this trend line, and then we have another one right here and right here and right here. So let's set up that third trend line going to the downside like this. I'm basically watching these trend lines for signals. If we break them going to the upside, I think those will be bullish signals, and we'll have to look at the next trend line to either get rejected on or to break through and head to the next one. I think if we break this top one, that's going to be our bullish signal that we might be more confident on going higher. But until then, I'm watching these trend lines. For resistance, it's possible that we come back into it and push down, or it's possible that we break through it and we get that signal that we're heading higher, or at least we're heading to the next ones. Right now, we have been getting support on this first one at 2,514. We came down, got a bounce up, came down, getting support on it, support on it, support on it. We hit it again right here. So like I said, until we break this trend line going to the upside, I'm kind of thinking I'm watching these limit orders right here and this one down here even. The fact that we haven't really pushed down with a bunch of red volume makes me think that I'm kind of curious if we're going to get a bounce on these levels right here again, and then maybe we'll be able to break these trend lines going to the upside. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on right now because it's been kind of volatile, and we've kind of just been sitting in this little area right here. We've been going up and down right in this little section right here. But like I said, if we could break this trend line going to the upside, I think this one will be the first signal, this one will be the second signal, and then if we break this one, I think we could get more confident on maybe at least coming up to this resistance, something like that. We have this resistance right here sitting at around, let's go ahead and do a horizontal line, maybe something like this, and we'll do it red for resistance. This level is sitting around 3,368. I think once we break this level going to the upside, then we could start looking at the next ones, maybe something like this. We could do another line right here, and then possibly another one maybe right here and right here. As you can see, these are the spots that we started to head down right here, right here, and right here. These levels are sitting at 3,823, 4,106, and 444.3. But we won't be able to even think about those levels until we start breaking these trend lines going to the upside. So in general, hopefully we can get bounces on the 4-hour time frame previous bottoms. If we get some big red volume going to the downside, I'll be looking at 1783, which is the previous bottom over here. And I'll be watching these trend lines, waiting for a breakout to the upside. Like I said, once we break these going to the upside, I think these will be good signals. Until then, it's possible that they give us resistance and push us down lower. I do think it's kind of interesting how we've been in this area right here for already it seems like a few weeks already. So let's see what happens. If we go ahead and delete everything and take a look at the moving averages, we're still really close to the daily 9 moving average. And if we head over to the weekly time frame, it looks like we're still fairly close to that weekly moving average right here. I think once we break this weekly 9 moving average going to the upside, and we can stay above that 9 moving average and then close above that 9 moving average and get another candle above it, maybe something like this, I think that will be a good signal as well, because what we want to do is break above these 9 moving averages as opposed to breaking below them. When we break below them, we get resistance on them. Every time we come into that 9 moving average, we get rejected, and pushed lower. If we can break above it and stay above it, then maybe we can look for support on it. Support, something like this. We did break below it right here, but in general, being above these moving averages is way better than being below it like we are right now. I do like that we are pretty close to it and we're still kind of testing it, but I'd way rather be above it than below it. So in general, I think the main things that I'm watching is the 4-hour time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. The main things I'm watching are the 4-hour time frame, these downtrends like this, and I think if we could break these trend lines, then those will be good signals. Let me know what you guys think though. If you guys liked the video, hit that thumbs up so I can see you in the next one.